All right, everybody, this is your boy My Wand on Dash Radio, and I'm here with the beautiful, the talented, the incredible Nakkia Gold. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Good. I got to first make sure I said it right?
Yeah, you said it right.
Gold.
Nakkia Gold.
Nakkia Gold.
Yes,
we wanted to clarify this for everybody.
Nakkia Gold.
Because you have one of those unique names I haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
Which is unique in this industry.
It is.
You know? I interviewed a dude named Travis Thompson, shout out, and I told him, I said, damn, bro, you're going to be behind Travis Scott in the search engines forever, you know? But Nakkia, the first.
Yeah, the first, the only,
yes.
for now. I know we're going to have a new round of Nakkias after a lot of my songs come out.
A wave.
Yes.
I want to see the statistics on kids named that after you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Let's go.
But let's talk about what makes today so special is, Dash is a very new company. We've been around for about 7 years. So relative to, 92.3 or to Spotify, we're very new. And you were here when we first opened this office.
Yeah.
You performed at our South by Southwest showcase. I remember you tore the stage down. You came out.
Sir.
You had performers. You had the lights going and everything.
Yes, it was wonderful, man.
And over a year later, say it's been about a year and a half.
Yeah.
You have come the fuck up.
Yes, man. It's been a long time coming. It's been a rough road, but I made it.
Yeah.
I've made it through it, man. Through the pandemic and all of it. It's been a struggle, but I ain't let it hold me down.
It did not at all. So when you came and performed, that was right when the pandemic began. We thought we're going to have 3 months lockdown and we're going to be back. And I remember you had, I think it was Yeah.
We just released Yeah.
Yeah, so the growth from there to now is mind-blowing. Because to me, I didn't know what direction you were going to go.
Yeah.
That was a very upbeat dance record in the club, kind of that like Tinashe Mustard vibe.
Yep.
And then you came out with Real.
Yep.
And then you did, when you dropped 3 rounds, that to me was like embodiment of who you are. Like
exactly.
The club, the slow. Where does this duality come from?
It's just all the emotions and all the feelings that I were afraid to be vulnerable and to put out. I just had to put it out into a song. That was my way of conversation, my way of speaking. So it comes from a true place.
Absolutely.
These are my words, these are my feelings, these are my emotions, and these are the things that I want to share with my people. I'm
glad you brought that up because I have a gift for you. I bring a gift for every artist that I get to interview. It's a gift from my personal CD collection. I woke up this morning, I was torn on what album I was going to give you. I heard Real, and when I heard Real and when I instinctually hit back to hear it again and it just really sat in, I said, you keep it so honest. I wanted to give you Anita Baker's Rapture. I don't know if you have heard this. I'm sure you've heard this, right?
Yes.
That's one of my favorite albums. And the reason
get out of here.
That is yours to keep. That's my original. That's why it's all scratched up and stuff.
And this is awesome. I'm gonna keep it forever.
I hope you do. You can clean the house for the rest of your life with that album.
Yes, I'm gonna get a CD player just for this.
Yeah, just have it on your mantle.
I got a Wii.
There we go. Throw it in the Wii.
I got a Wii.
Throw it in the Wii. So
this is freaking awesome.
What I loved about that album was she was so vulnerable that you could hear her pain. There were certain songs like Sweet Love. Mm-hmm. I literally can hear her like pleading to the guy, like my sweet love.
Yeah.
And I hear it in your voice. I want to
say
you have such great range with your voice. Like you use it. So
Thank you, man. It's a gift that I'm still learning how to project. But what I do know and what I do feel, I have to be 100% real and honest. And a lot of people are afraid to be vulnerable.
Absolutely.
And tell someone that, I do love you. I want to be with you, but I got to be real. Let's fix this, or I got to get on.
Yeah.
Or like, I love you enough to tell you, show me if you really love me.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't say that. They'll just go and mess with somebody else or just up and leave,
Yeah.
It's like I'm giving you that open space and the opportunity for us to build, fix it, and to grow.
Yeah. You know what that reminds me of? It's like the maturity of, it's kind of mature, but you remember Donnell Jones?
Yeah.
Where I want to be. He's like telling the girl, like, listen, I love you, but I need some time to figure shit out. You know what I mean? To make sure this is where I want to be. But it was so honest. Whenever I sing that song, I'm like, he's breaking up with a girl right now.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But it's like a love record, and he's keeping it so real.
But how can she be mad? You can't do nothing but respect it. Because I respected you as a woman. I let you know, and I put everything out there on the table.
Exactly.
So now it's up for you to make the decision and figure it out. Like, are we gonna do this, or look? Honestly, I can't. I need the time to get me together, and I gotta focus.
And it was honest, you know. Rather than Carl Thomas, remember I Wish?
Yeah.
I wish this dude went and found a girl who was married with kids. You know?
Can't do that, boy.
Do you ever go back to like the R&B we grew up off? Like sometimes
I live in it.
Now that we're mature, how crazy is some of the like Tevin Campbell, Can We Talk? He's stalking a girl.
Yeah, see, in these days that couldn't happen.
Yeah,
you can do that. You know.
I mean, even a lot of like outside of R&B, another song that like the equivalent to Tevin Campbell, Can We Talk? It's a pop record. Blondie, One Way or Another. She's literally saying like, "I'm gonna find you.
I'm gonna get you."
She has a line where she says like, "I'll drive by your house and see if the lights are all out." It's not anyway. Music. You know, the messaging behind it sometimes.
Technology is probably slowing a lot of that down,
yes,
you know?
Yes. But let's get into your writing process.
Yes.
Your music is all so unique. What's so cool is, you know, it's still in its infancy stages as far as your artistry. You still haven't defined yourself.
No. But I'm still finding out who I am on a daily basis. You
Absolutely. Know? And when you go into the studio sessions, do you go in like, I want to make Pretty Girl Habits type record, or I want to make a real type record? How does that come about?
Not at all. It's all based off of how I feel when I'm in the studio and when we're getting the beat together or when the beat is being made. However I'm feeling at that moment when I pick the mic up and I start to do my scratch or whatever I do before we start, it has to be authentic and how I feel at that moment. I never go in with an assignment or a task. Like, I keep it raw. Yeah,
so exactly and I think that's why when I said I hear the emotion in your voice, that's probably why, because it's so in the moment.
Yes.
You still feel it as you're singing it.
Exactly.
And you are a singer, songwriter.
Yes.
This is the most exciting one to me, producer.
Yes.
Wow.
I love it. I love to begin with the metronome and to have nothing, almost like air, and to be able to create. Literally, I told you, I like to create because it allows me to have my own world I can live in. There's no wrong I can do and say in these because it's my truth. It's my story.
Exactly.
I'm building it.
Yeah.
And I'm in the hopes of getting other people to adapt, to listen, to open their eyes, and to be able to wake up and heal. Because these might be some things that you can't say, or you've never been able to say, or that you're afraid to say.
Yeah.
You know? So, and more of those reasons, like it's more of a vibe. I want to send out those vibrations so that people can feel what it is I'm saying. You know, it goes beyond just listening. I want you to feel what it is I'm saying.
Yeah, and you really do. It does translate from when you write it and record it to when I get to hear it. Yes. It doesn't get lost at all.
Please, thank you.
Of course. Thank you for just the growth in your career and just the growth sonically. It's been so beautiful. And I wouldn't be, there's nothing you can do on your next record that would surprise me because you're so talented. And I felt like when I first discovered you, I thought you were going to be more on like the rapper, singer type vibe.
I know.
And then Real dropped and I was like, oh no, mommy, she sings. Yeah. I was like, what? And
I'm going to be pinching into a lot more of it.
But then you've come back around and we got to talk about the new single, Pretty Girl Habits, right?
Yes, Pretty Girl Habits.
Slaps.
Yes.
Slaps. I listened to it 4 times on the drive in.
Let's go. We got 4 extra plays, y'all.
Yeah, we got 4. And you know it's going to be spinning on Dash on tons of our stations because it fits so many different pockets.
Let's go.
You know what I mean? When you made that song, like when you, whether you just got the beat done or you just cut the first take, did you know that you had a banger in your hands and it was going to make the project or be out?
The moment I felt the beat, when the beat came on, it felt so LA. So it's like, I gotta let people not only feel LA, but I'm gonna paint this picture to where you're gonna feel LA within you. Yeah. And we're gonna bring out the the beautiful part in the pretty girls, because there aren't just pretty girls here in LA. They're all over the place.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna show you how they blossomed and how much I appreciated the prettiness and the beautiful girls that come from here, because these are the ones that I grew with.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. And what are some of these pretty girl habits that you talk about?
Man,
What are some examples?
I know
of pretty girl
everybody
habits?
know they've had a girl that took so long to get ready.
Yep.
So long. But if she did not walk out the house looking good, you wouldn't mess with her.
Yes, there we go.
So we have to glorify that, you know, give it praise. Like, I appreciate that, because if you walked out here looking like a booger wolf and you didn't have it together, lips chapped, no teeth brushed, hair all twisted, not slicked down, sideburns,
you would feel some type of way being next to that. Right?
What?
Yep.
Especially if you're a product of me, you represent me. Oh no.
No, you representing gold. You gotta
Keep
look
those
right.
habits, honey. You can take as long as you want. I'll be here and I'll be patient.
Yeah.
So that's really what I was saying. I wanted to highlight all the things that it takes to be a pretty girl, and then ask the women, what does it take for you to be a pretty girl? Because sometimes it's not makeup. Sometimes it's not, going out or spinning the bag. Sometimes it's doing yoga. Sometimes it's sitting in front of your crystals and charging them up while charging up yourselves. Like, whatever it is that makes you feel pretty whenever you get up in the morning. That's what I wanted to put out,
I love that. You did. And it feels, what's up? That's my guy, J News.
Hey.
The song really does, like, even as a man, it empowers me. I'm like listening to it and I'm like, okay, I can see myself singing this.
Because you want one. You want a girl that has pretty girl habits.
You know a pretty girl habit I love? When they be taking 40 to 50 pictures of the fit just to make sure, and I appreciate it now. Yes. Because the difference between a right picture and a wrong picture, it's a whole, make the whole fit look trash.
And the angle. Angles are everything. When I tell you the girls got it down to a T.
Do you got it down for when you're with your girl? You make sure you got.
Oh yeah, if I'm taking a picture, if I don't, so I've learned, I've adapted. So if I need to take a picture, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Well, I flip it out. I want it to look good too. If I'm taking a picture and if it's my girl, I want to make sure you look good too. You representing me.
Absolutely.
You go ahead and get them likes.
Absolutely. Yep.
It's all right. Like, you come home to me every night. So it's okay.
And I know in this past year, now that you've grown up, there's pretty girls flocking.
Oh man,
imagine
they're everywhere. Bags. I love women.
Yeah.
So I welcome all shapes, all sizes, all colors.
This is
all
a
races.
Casting call, everybody.
Yeah. So bring them all.
But let's
come all.
I do gotta ask you about LA, because at first look, I wouldn't have known you're from LA. But then when you listen to the music and you hear them club records, you're like, oh, that's LA.
Yeah.
So you're LA, right? Born and raised?
Born and raised, South Central Los Angeles.
And I feel like you rep LA sonically, everything about you.
Yeah.
What does LA mean to you?
I mean, for me, it's more of this is the soil that I grew from. I've come from nothing, and I became who I am today based off of living here and the stigma from being here. We're not told we could be something when we grow up.
Yeah.
We're always told that, you're not going to make it or not given any hope. So I feel like I have to show that we can come from LA and become something. Yeah. We can be big. We can be better. You just got to shine your light. And don't be afraid. And
you're so unique. You're doing it in such a you way. That's my favorite thing about you, is you're one of one.
Yeah, I want to be me. I don't want to emulate no one else. I want to be authentically myself and true to myself as well.
Like the only person I can compare you to, and it's not because the outfit you wore the first time we met, where you had the big jacket and the glasses, but Missy, just based off her uniqueness.
Yeah.
There's no one that has ever sounded and ever will sound like Missy, and I think the same with you. So unique. And you're a dancer too, right?
Yep.
So do you choreograph your own stuff at all?
That's funny, because I used to be a choreographer.
Oh.
Used to be a choreographer, hip hop teacher. I used to teach master classes.
What?
Yeah. This is actually before I started getting deep into music, I ruptured my Achilles dancing. And it was the cause for me to really have to sit down and tap into all these other gifts that I was blessed with.
You couldn't move your feet.
Couldn't dance no more. And that's where my heart, to not be able to move, then I gained about 56 pounds. So it was hard. It was life changing. I went through like a whole depression phase to where I was like not enthused to do anything. And I'm like, I can't do this. My mama didn't raise me to be like this. And she would be upset if she was here to see me giving up. So
rest in peace, you beautiful mama.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
That was another thing. So, well, she passed right as your moment began to kind of come about, right?
Well, yeah, she passed actually 9 years ago.
Okay.
And that turnball that I was talking about was the day I was asked to do this was the date of her anniversary of her death day. Yeah, so it was like the day that, you know, it wasn't really a celebration, but that was to remember her passing turned into be one of the best days of my life.
Yeah, and even there, like we're talking about the duality of your music, the duality of that moment, the extreme high and the extreme low. You know, that happened to DaBaby. When DaBaby's album went #1, his dad died on the same day.
Yeah, see?
And I remember he was posting, he's like, I'm like on cloud 9, but like at the same time, I just, you know what I mean?
I'm hurt.
Yeah.
You lost. You're in this world, like, that's really why I had to dive deep into the music, because you really can get lost.
Yeah.
I had to create this own world that I could be happy in, because I had no family, no friends, nothing to depend on to fill this void that I was just seeking for, because I lost
your best
the best
friend.
Yeah, it's like, what can you lose in this world that's like your mother? That's the one thing you're connected to from the second you were, you know, even a thought, you know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like losing something like that is just, you can't explain it to anybody, and you can't make someone feel your pain, and you can't expect anyone to console you to fill that void. So I had to find things that helped me feel that, you know?
And that's music, right?
That's music.
And the art.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what,
helped me.
You made her damn proud. She
Yes.
is smiling over, just looking at you every day, prouder by the day.
Yes, I feel it.
And you make LA proud as a community, because you're such a great example of what anybody can be, whether it's female, male, you know, short, tall, anything.
Yeah.
You have, and for you to be a quadruple threat, you can rap a little bit too. I know you can rap a little bit. I feel like if someone was like put a gun to your head and said you can only rap for the rest of your life, you would be out barring a lot of these rappers.
I mean, I can bar it up a couple, you know, I do what I do. I write, so when I write and I do placements, I also write for rappers. I'll write.
You've written for rappers?
I've submitted a lot of songs for a couple of rappers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, you know, Reppin.
Yeah.
A song called "Worth It All." I was a part of that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I'm actually on the hook. It's my vocals.
Wow, I gotta go back and listen to that now.
We went from nothing to something. Yeah, that's me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did you get tapped into the industry, I should say? Was it through your dancing, through your writing, through your singing?
Honestly, I was putting out the songs that we were writing. Me and my partner, Jinx, my writing partner.
Shout out Jinx.
Yeah, shout out, that's my boy. You understand? I wouldn't be right here right now. We weren't locked in together, and we didn't make all this happen.
Major shout out to Jinx.
Yes.
You do not go underappreciated. Have not met you
brother.
yet.
You already know, when y'all see Jinx, y'all see me. And when y'all see me, y'all see Jinx.
I love that. I love that.
But everything I write, we write together. We're a duo. But going up and doing all that stuff that we were doing, it was tough. Very tough. And I mean, we were writing for a lot of people were sending us emails, DMs, but it was mainly us just putting stuff out on Instagram, over flooding. And the songs that we would write, I'd do like a little Triller video as if I was the artist and just giving it hype, and people be like, oh, when you putting this out, when you doing this.
Before
and I wasn't
even released them.
I wasn't even releasing them. We were putting them out just to show, like, you know, this is what we're doing. We're writing. And then we would hit them up to other artists like, hey, you like this song? This fits you. We would literally hit up at least 100 people a day.
And you would send them the Triller video rather than just the song.
Exactly. so they could see like, you know, the reaction that people are getting. I didn't really have that much of a following, but people were really tapping in. So then we had started to have different A&Rs hit us up from different labels, and they're like, yo, you know, you sound really dope. Are you signed? Whoop, this. And we started to get like a little, you know, our backs against the wall. So we started picking up books, business books of music, so we can learn like, you know, how does all this work?
Yeah.
We can't walk into a door
smart.
and not really know like what's going on.
Very smart.
So as writers, you know, we would look up songs and like the top songs that have last for like 10 years plus. And we go look on ASCAP or BMI, who are all the writers on the songs. And we go look up all the different works that they were doing and go listen to all those songs and just really flood our brains and our ears with just the different sounds, you know?
Wow.
We were really on some different stuff, like.
That's the dedication it takes.
What?
So, you know, you're like me, because when I grew up, I used to buy the CDs like that. And Anita, I got other albums sitting around, and I used to actually look at who wrote everything.
Yes, it matters.
And I always respected the songwriters so much. Like I remember one of the things that blew my mind was when I got, it was 2001, and, you know, Dre, I'm looking through, and on next episode, I saw S. Carter. I was a little kid, and I'm like, Jay-Z's not on this. That's where I learned Jay-Z wrote the song. And then that
Crazy.
moment made me start looking into songwriters so much. But you took it to the next level. You were investigating their catalog, their work.
Because I wanted to just immerse myself in, I wanted to see what they felt, how they were able to create what they thought, different concepts they grabbed things out of, like what it took for them, so that I always have been a sponge. And I always want to learn something. So for me, it was always a teach myself type of thing.
Yeah.
Not what somebody else is trying to tell you, because we all have our different methods of doing stuff.
Absolutely.
So what I had to do was really put myself in the position of the people that were doing what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I manifested it.
And you did it. And you're doing it.
It worked.
Yes.
When I tell you, you have to, as much work as you expect from other people to do, or you expect from like the fans or like the labels, you got to put in like 1,000 times work that you're expecting from people to give you.
Absolutely.
You can't just sit there and just be waiting for handouts. So I applied myself, like, if you was working 20 hours, I'm working 40 hours. You in the office 10 hours, I'll be in the office or the studio 20 hours.
I love it. I wish I could work with you to motivate the hell out of me. You're a leader. You're like a natural born leader.
I got to.
I think whatever generation you would have been, you know, or you would have been born into, you were gonna lead and trailblaze.
And that's crazy, because one of my friends actually, they used to do music when I was younger. Shout out Fat Rhyme, my boy Fat Rhyme.
Shout out Fat Rhyme?
Yeah, my boy Fat Rhyme from Inglewood, another rapper, dope.
Inglewood, always up to no good?
Yeah. But I used to hit him up, like, you know, they always used to have a little crew and they were doing music. And I'm like, yo, like, let me come to the studio. Let me vibe with you. And he like, you know, yeah, but like, nah, like, you like a general. Like, you need your own type of, like, you know. And at that time, I was kind of like heartbroken.
Yeah.
But then later on, it was like I understood it, because he would call me at times and I would help inspire him and get him into, like, using his vocals and singing and being vulnerable, because he was into rapping and he didn't, you know.
Yeah, he didn't know that.
He was like, yeah, I want to rap. Now bro's making fire.
Ooh.
When I tell you he's such an old soul and just a different vibe, it's like, I love it.
And you led that, or at least
I feel good about it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I did something. You know, that's what makes me, you know, smile every day and gives me my heebie-jeebies.
That's going to be the biggest part of your legacy, I think, is how many lives you impact and how many people you uplift. You know, even when you look at the song Justice, we were speaking about how you got the unique opportunity. It's such a blessing to flip a Bob Marley record and get a superstar like Wiz on it. And you didn't take that opportunity and go to the clubs and make people twerk, which people will be dancing that record in the club, by the way.
Yes, let's get it.
But it was about justice. And I felt like that embodies you. Like, you're taking everything you've been given, all the, you know, blessings you work so hard for, but you're using it in a way to kind of give back and uplift.
Yeah, because, I mean, at the end of the day, I can't do what I do without everyone else. And I have to let them know that, you know, we're all human.
Yeah.
And I'm here with you.
Yeah.
Don't ever think for a second I don't see what's going on, regardless of what position I'd be in, where I am in life. I'm still human, just like you all. So in any way that I can do anything, I'm going to do it. You know.
You're one of those. You will
Yeah,
sell.
I'm here for the people, 100%.
Yeah, but you can sell like water to a well. I can tell.
Hey.
But with the right intentions, you're a monster for this industry.
Oh, yeah.
For this city. LA appreciates you. I'll tell you what. We appreciate you here at Dash, LA, the city, the world. Honestly,
Yes,
you're a
man.
global artist.
Yes, that's my goal. It's my plan.
Now I got to get into one last thing: the production part. There is a huge gap of female producers in the industry, right?
There is.
And are you trying to do anything to fill that gap, or what made you want to get into production?
Just being a dancer and knowing how music made me feel, and just the beat alone, not really the lyrics, and how that transcends, and how dancers will flop over to the words. I see the importance of the bass, of what a writer would come. A writer wouldn't write to a beat if it wasn't an A or a B track, you know?
Absolutely.
You can't get that vibe. So you also are creating and starting a story for someone else to start a whole nother story. So
Yeah.
I love instruments. I love live music. You know, my mom used to buy me a piano every year and a karaoke machine because I would always break it. And because I'd be in my room. I was such a black sheep. So I'd be in my room locked in there all day and just zoning out. I listened to the same song over for weeks, but I would learn the song. I'd know all the melodies. And I'd break my mic, and then I'd go teach myself the keys on the piano. So I didn't have any real lessons.
Yeah.
I was a pecker, but I got the notes.
But you got
I would
it.
find them.
Yeah.
But it was just, I always told myself, if I'm gonna do something, I gotta do something that I love, not something that I feel like I'm just gonna get paid for. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So my desire, my intent, and my motive behind everything that I do is because I love to do it. I wouldn't be able to get up every morning and do it if I didn't, you know?
Yeah.
So I have to be true to me.
Well, it's still amazing that you got into production. I want to see, have you produced any of your songs that are out?
I have co-produced
Okay.
one that is coming out.
Well, I'm excited just to see you trailblaze in that too, and help other female producers understand that they can do it. Because I think music is missing that touch. We're missing the female producer's touch.
Yeah.
And slowly with artists like yourself, and there's so many other ones I'm blanking out on right now, but it's beginning to happen. And
It
I'd love
is.
to see that.
It will. We're going to continue it, and I'm here to finish it.
Yes. Well, Pretty Girl Habits out now.
It's out right now on
Videos
all
out,
social.
right? No?
Song, video.
Yes.
We got a video. When I tell y'all it's popping, it's lit.
I
It is
know.
lit.
I have seen you live, so I know it's lit.
It's lit, you understand? And it's also, it's the prelogue to the introduction of who I am.
Ooh.
So it really is. It's very important. I feel like everyone should see it.
Okay.
If you really want to know who I am, if you really want to know the introduction of what you're about to see when I drop the next project.
Project coming soon?
Oh yeah, project coming soon. Project coming. I told you I have been in.
Can we get any
the
details
studios.
about the project?
I will drop a gem. I've been working heavy with 1500 and nothing.
Oh my God, Rance and Mars and them.
Yes, those are my
Oh
brothers.
my God, I am
Those are
so
my
excited
brothers.
for this project.
When I
You
tell
and
you-
1500 or nothing together. Now you know we're in trouble. What?
It's about to be a hot mess out here. You
Yes.
know?
Okay.
I've had some wonderful times.
I am so excited. You're gonna have to come back. We're gonna have to do this whole thing again when we get the project out. If what you've dropped is a precursor to what we're gonna hear, oh my God, I can't wait.
You have no idea what is coming.
I can't wait.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming in. Where can they find you online? What's your at?
You can find me on all social media platforms at Nakkia Gold, NAKKIAGOLD.
Okay, and where do you get the gold from? We're gonna end it on this.
I get the gold. My real name is Nakkia, and it's Egyptian, and it means loyal and pure.
Okay.
And I love gold. Gold is also pure.
I love gold.
I
You
love
see Austin
gold.
Powers?
Yeah, what? And you might be telling secrets. I love gold member. You know, I might have a gold member video. You know?
Oh my God. Really?
Nice shiner.
I love gold.
But yeah, I love gold. And,
So
you know,
funny.
like my music, I never wanted to get old or corrode, just like gold, you know?
I love that.
It'll
Nakkia
never.
Gold. It's not going anywhere. It
Not
doesn't
anywhere.
sound like it.
Yes, sir.
Pretty Girl Habits out now on rotation at Dash. Check it out on all streaming services. Video out now.
Yes.
Everybody stay tuned because she got some heat coming.
We on fire.
Got some heat coming. From LA to the world, everybody.
Yes, sir. Welcome
Yeah.
to our world.
To our world. And we out. Peace.